We're taking a deep dive into the data of one of Miami's hottest neighborhoods right now in this video. We're talking about Brickell. Jake Fletcher here with the Fletcher Group at eXp Realty, your Miami real estate agent, and only 13% of people who watch my videos are subscribed. That means 87% of y'all are doing me dirty, man. Come on, you don't even have to bust a mission. You're probably already logged into your Google. Just go ahead and hit subscribe for me, and we'll get into this video. So we're looking at the data for Brickell, and even though there are single-family homes in Brickell, there's really not enough to have a statistically significant amount of data on, okay? So therefore, we're only going to be talking about condos in this video so that we can actually draw some statistically significant conclusions from the graphs, okay? So first graph I want to show you guys is this one right here. So we're looking at new listings, that's the blue line, and then number of sales is the orange line there. So new listings decreased from 199 in January to 168 in February. And although it's not uncommon to see more inventory in January than February, as many people do want to try to start the new year off. Maybe they had a New Year's resolution to sell their house or whatever, or they could be taking advantage of tax benefits or using the proceeds of the sale of their home to actually pay for their taxes, okay? So, you know, it's not uncommon to see that, but that is an 83% unit decrease year over year from last February, which is negative 33.1%, okay? So you see that that spot in February versus that spot in February, okay? So 33.1% decrease there. Now sales, which is our orange line here, we see that little pop-up. They rose from 68 in January to 84 in February. And like I always remind you guys, sales are a lagging indicator, okay? So things that went, under contract in January, that sold in January, went under contract in November or December, AKA the holidays, right? When people are not really trying to do much other than hang out with their families and stuff. And then, things that sold in February went under contract in December or January. So again, it's not uncommon to see more sales in February than you see in January, okay? Now this 84% sales 84%, this number of sales at 84 is a huge decrease year over year. I mean, gigantic decrease year over year compared to last February, okay, when we had 220 sales. That's a 61.8% decrease in the number of condo sales in Brickell, which is mostly due to interest rates being almost double what they were this time last year, okay? Now, next graph we're gonna look at is days on market here. Days on market have been going up from 74 in January to 84 in February, and now so far in March, we're at 101 days on market, okay? So that's that blue line right there. We just see those days on market going up, right? So the market really has turned around in a big way. Now, as for the close price to original price ratio, what that is basically a percentage measurement of how far away the actual sale price was from the list price, okay? The original list price. So if it was originally listed for $100,000 and it sold for $98,000, that's a 98% original price to close price ratio, okay? So as for the original price to close price ratio in Brickell, we've seen almost all decreases since May of 2022 over here, with the exception of November 2022 right there, up until this February of 2023, okay? This February of 2023 is when it bumped up to 95.4%. So it's been going down and down and down. You had this little pop-up in this November, then it went down and down and down again, and then this big pop-up in February up to 95.4%. And, this could signal the bottom of the market, okay? However, days on market are still going up, so it's a little unclear. We're definitely going to be keeping our eye on this and our ear to the ground. So make sure that you hit subscribe so that you guys can catch those videos when I bring you this fresh data. Like nobody else is bringing you this data on YouTube. I'm the only one in the entire region who's bringing you guys this fresh data. So as soon as the market turns around and we know it's the bottom of the market, this channel is where you're gonna find that out, okay? By the time you read it on NBC or CNN or Fox Business or whatever, you will have been able to hear it on my channel months before that, okay? So at the very least, weeks before that, okay? Now, days on market are still going up, like I said, and the close price to original price ratio is down again in March so far, but March isn't over yet. As of right now, it's at 94.5%. So again, it's a little unclear. We're not sure if this is exactly the bottom of the market, and the fact that days on market are still going up tells us that maybe in the Brickell market, maybe we're not quite there, but things are turning around, right? And we're going to talk about that more in a second. So, and again, we'll be keeping a very, very close eye on all of this, okay? So next up, let's look at one more graph here. And this is where I'm going to explain more about how things are turning around. We're looking at months of inventory versus expired listings. So months of inventory just basically means if no new listings came on the market, how long would it take to sell the existing supply, all right? So months of inventory, that's our blue line there. Expired listings is our orange line. And months of inventory went down to 10 months in February from 12 months in January, okay? So right here was 12, went down to 10, which is super interesting because you can see most of last year, months of inventory was raising as interest rates went up, sales went down, right? Inventory was still low. There wasn't much to buy. Well, in Brickell, there's more than in other places, but still, inventory was pretty low, as we saw. And then, going from 12 to 10, we were so close to a buyer's market because 0 to 6 months is considered a seller's market because sellers have the upper hand. 6 months to 12 months is considered a normal market. And then anything over 12 months is considered a buyer's market because buyers have the upper hand, okay? So we were so close to a buyer's market, especially like compared to last February when we were at 3 months of inventory over here, which is crazy. This is a huge change, and it's good news for buyers who are looking to get a deal. And if that's you, definitely head down to the description where all my contact information is and reach out. You can even schedule a free consultation with me on my Calendly link at your convenience, which is pretty cool. Now, number of expireds here in the orange line, it's always, number of expired listings is always going to be outsized in December because a lot of agents and sellers sign listing agreements that end on December 31st, okay? So you see this little pop-up here every December, boom, boom, it's more pronounced the quicker I move my mouse, right? So boom, right? That's December 31st, okay? However, in February, we had 199 expireds, which is 65 less year over year, okay? So here we see that, 65 expired listings, 199, which is 65 less than this point over here in February of 2022, okay? And also overall, we can see that the trend is less expireds compared to the previous couple of years, okay? So that's good news for sellers, honestly. And, it's not the most pronounced trend, but we do kind of get the sense that at least from this point, we kind of see this downward trend of expired listings, okay? So it's good news for sellers because it means it's more likely you're going to be able to sell your unit, especially if it's priced correctly, okay? Now, let's look at one more here. This is going to be our median sale price. And condo median sale prices for February was $615,000, which was up $15,000 from January or 2.5%. So that's that blue line there. We see that little tick up. However, that's only up $8,500 year over year from last February, okay? So you can kind of see, prices they jiggle-jaggled and oscillated back. I don't think jiggle-jaggle is a word, but I just made it up. But they oscillated back and forth here on the price all year, okay? But pretty much if you you can kind of see how that just moved sideways, basically, right? It just it was a bumpy ride, but it just basically went sideways, okay? Because that $8,500 difference from last February is only a 1.4% increase, all right? From $606,500 last February to now $615,000 this February. So, it looks like prices could flux down a little bit for March, but again, the data's not in yet, and it's not statistically significant enough to draw conclusions, which is why I didn't include it in this data. But like I said, we're going to be watching this closely, and as soon as that data is out, you guys are going to be the first to know. So looking at supply, that's the active number of listings here in the orange line, also pretty much moving sideways for the last little bit here. It has decreased though so far in March, and you also saw a decrease in February as well. So that's 2 months in a row, coming in at 797 so far for this month in March of 2023. However, it's up 97 units year over year when we had 700 last March, okay? So this little it would have been in January, February, March would have been here, almost at the trough would have been in April there. Okay, but that's a 13.9% increase. So, I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at. It's not like the craziest increase ever, but, it's definitely something, okay? So that's, some interesting information about the condo market in Brickell, if I do say so myself. And if you guys enjoyed that, let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. Have you guys thought about potentially buying a place in Brickell or selling a place in Brickell? How does this data make you feel about that, right? We've seen that supply has increased a decent amount, right? The total active number of supply we saw, from again, I mean, if I show you this again, it decreased a bunch from this trough, but it's just kind of flatlining. If anything, that trend looks like it might be going down. So, if you're somebody who's a seller in Brickell, not a lot of competition as far as units for sale, especially compared to like pre-pandemic, and honestly, even part of the pandemic. Again, if I show you this again, I know I keep bringing it back up, but you can see here, this was, right at the beginning of the pandemic was here. It was kind of it took a second and then inventory just dropped. This line should be called New York and California because that's what created this downward trend in inventory. All that inventory was getting bought up by people from New York and California, mostly. Obviously, other places there were people moving down here, but again, if you're a seller in Brickell, not a lot of competition in terms of other listings, okay? But, prices have been stable. Miami's one of the most stable real estate markets in the world, honestly. So it's still a good time to sell, in my opinion. If you're a buyer, you can see from the closed price to original price ratio that there still are deals in this market. Somebody like myself, I can help you figure out exactly what the market value of a place is, come up with a competitive offer, and help you snag the condo of your dreams. There's some beautiful condos in Brickell. I've been doing a lot of showings there lately, and there's some really, really nice buildings there with incredible amenities. I would love to show you more. And if that's you, if you'd like to see more about that, head on down to the description there, reach out to me. All my contact information is there, and I'd love to help you guys out. And in the meantime, consider, following, subscribing, sharing, commenting, and overall, obliterating the like button is really what I need you guys to do right now, because I put a lot of work into getting this information and data together. So if you appreciate that, costs you $0.00 to just smash the like button for me real quick, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Jake Fletcher here with the Fletcher Group at eXp Realty, your Miami real estate agent, and it's been a pleasure. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.